What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. We got a fun video today because I'm going to be showing off some books that I am looking to submit to CGC, and we're going to go through them, and I want you all to help me pick and choose which ones I actually send out. Before we get into the video, of course, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take the time to do so, and I want to make an announcement for a giveaway that we're doing. I got two books right here. We're pairing these up. We got the facsimile edition of Edge of Spider-Verse #2, reprinting the first appearance of Spider-Gwen, as well as the facsimile edition of Ultimate Fallout #4, reprinting the first appearance of Miles Morales. I'm going to be giving both of these books away in my road to 11,500 subscribers. That's right. When I hit 11,500, I'm going to be drawing a winner. All you need to do to be entered and win these two books is to be subscribed to the channel, click the notification bell, like this video, and drop a comment below telling me about what books you think I should send in to CGC, all right? So let's set these aside here, and we're going to get into, you guys can see here I have this little Marvel holder. This is the little boxes that they have at Walmart. So I have one of these, real cool, right? And I got a bunch of books in here, and we're going to go through them. Now, I want to say and make this clear. Right now, personally, I'm not too happy about sending books into CGC. I don't feel too good about sending books into CGC with some of the recent changes that they've made. Now, for those that watch my channel, you guys know that I love to support different businesses, but when I have issues with those businesses, I will speak out because I believe we as the consumers have the right to voice our opinions and demand better. Okay, so right now I'm a little but I had my automatic fees renewed, right? And they're sitting there, so I need to take advantage of it. I need to send some books in. All right, if that automatic renewal didn't go through, I probably would be waiting, or I might have sent some books off to CBCS, to be quite honest. I also have some books out at EGS right now. Currently, I cannot wait to get those back. But folks, I'm going to turn these around because here we go. I like this. I don't want you guys to get a sneak peek. I want you guys to see them one by one. You already saw what's up here. So let's start out with this book, folks. This is Ultimate Fallout #4, the second print Pacelli variant. This book is in really high grade. This was a gift. And Austin, if you're watching this, again, I'm truly humbled. I am definitely going to send this in to CGC. For me, it's like a no-brainer. But hey, I mean, you guys can influence my opinion. I am going to give this book a press. But as is right now, I think this book can get no lower than a 9.4. Could definitely get a 9.6. I don't know about a 9.8. I haven't examined it extremely to the T, but let's do that right now, actually. And the thing that I'm going to do, we're going to be doing a different video. When I finally choose and pick, I'm going to be sending doing a video of the actual books that I've decided to send out, and I'm going to be guessing the grade, and then when I get them back, we're going to do another video where we're going to see how many grades I guessed correctly or how off I was. So this book is super clean. But like I said, I'm definitely still going to give it a press. Super sharp edges. I mean, I don't know. It could definitely, some of the 9.8s I've seen, there's no spine ticks. It sits flat. The corners are sharp. This might be able to get a 9.8 as is. But again, you just never know with these grading companies. And I will be giving it a press just to be extra, due diligent about getting the highest grade that I possibly can on this book. Now, so let's set this one aside. One thing I want to make clear too is in these books I'm showing off today, this is my first year that I'm going to be sending books off to get graded that I'm actually going to sell because I started selling 6 months ago. So keep that in mind. Not all these are for my personal collection, but I will let you guys know. Next up, we have Incredible Hulk 344 McFarlane cover with the ASM 300 cover swipe. Just a beautiful book. I paid like $3 for this book in a whatnot sale. It is in really high grade. It's got a little bit of a spine stress. I don't know if you guys could see that. But it could definitely be pressed out. It's got a little bit of a right there, if you guys could see that defect, that can most likely be pressed out, if not with the press itself, with a tacking iron. It has one spine tick at the top, lower end of the top staple, and that might be able to be tack ironed out. Super sharp edges. I mean, right now, I think this book can at least get a 9.2. 9 point, well, with, I don't know, with this, with that right there, you can see it's kind of on the front too, right at the top, right there. I would say a 9.0 for sure. This could get a 9.0 in my humble opinion. Ooh, actually, look at this. Nope, I just saw a crease. That I see? Look at that, right at the corner, right there. Now, I don't know if that color breaks. It's a pretty deep crease. Does it color break that black? It doesn't. So that's another tack iron. Okay, I'm going to bring it down, 8.5. Right now, I say this book is an 8.5. But I think most of the defects are absolutely pressable, which can get this book up to a close to a near mint, meaning like a 9.4. I don't know if a little bit of that, if that's a little bit of wear, if that would get knocked down right there at the end of that spine. But I would grade this because I love ASM 300. I love Todd McFarlane. And I love any of the cover swipes. And I would love to have this graded in a decently high grade just because of that. And that would be for the PC, of course. All right, moving on. Next up, we have Avengers Annual number 10. This book has a color break right there. It's smooth. I did press it. I smoothed it out as I possibly could. There's a color break right there. Although it's on the white, you could still kind of see it. A little bit of wearing on the edges of the spine as well. The corners are actually, these corners are actually decently sharp. But just because of those two blemishes that I showed you, I don't see this book getting higher than an 8.0. I already have an 8.0 graded. I don't think this one is going to get higher than an 8.0. The spine is decently clean. One small color breaking spine tick, and that's it. I honestly would be conservative and grade this as a fine, very fine 7.0. But I think it has potential to get up to an 8.0, but I think it stops there. This would be something that I might think about either selling or giving away because I already have an 8.0. Like giving away in a membership contest or something like that, subscriber contest. All right, next up, Amazing Spider-Man $2.99. Technically the second cameo appearance of Venom. I recently got this in a collection. It was already a nice higher grade, probably around a very fine and near mint. I gave it a press. I used the tack iron as well. Boy, is this book minty fresh. I have a 9.0 in my PC, so I would send this in, and whichever one came back higher, I would keep. And then I would sell the other one. But this book is like almost flawless. I mean, I would say this book, there's no spine ticks. The corners are really sharp. I don't know if they're 9.8 sharp though. Like, I don't know if you guys could see that bottom corner. Right here. I don't know if that's 9.8 sharp. I think this book can definitely get a 9.4. So, man, anything above a 9.0 would be awesome because then I can sell the 9.0 and keep something higher. So, that's like a no-brainer to me in terms of sending in. This one would be for the PC. This is Captain America 217, first appearance of Wendell Vaughn, a.k.a. Marvel Boy, a.k.a. Marvel Man, who later becomes Quasar. I have a low grade of this that just wouldn't even be worth it to send in. I'm probably going to sell that at some point in time. I, of course, would keep the higher grade for my complete run of Captain America. It's just the value of this, I think, obviously, there's a lot of spec value. This book has been increasing. When we get a Quasar announcement, which I think is inevitable, this book is going to obviously increase. But I'm not looking to flip it. I would sell my raw when that time hit anyways. But I do think Quasar, in his first appearances, whether it's Hulk 234 or this one, I think have long-term value, and it would be for me. This would be something I would keep. I just don't know if it's high enough grade. It's got a couple of color-breaking spine ticks. The corners are decently sharp. So, but there's definitely some blunting down there. I don't know if you guys can see any of the spine tick. Oh, whoa, there's one right there. You guys see that coming off the staple on the top and the bottom. Those color break, boom, boom, right there. So I don't know. Oh, there is a little color breaking crease right there. See that at the top corner. I don't know if this book can get higher than an 8.5. Is that a color breaking crease at the bottom staple too? It is. Yeah, I don't know. Now that I'm looking at all those, maybe a 7.5, maybe a very fine minus. So, like I said, I don't know if it's worth it at this point. If I was looking to sell, maybe, and then I hold until the right time. But, so this is one that's definitely in question, right? Love to hear your guys' thoughts on that one. All right, here's another one. Of course, this would be for the PC. This is definitely not a high-grade book. Star Wars #2. First appearance of Obi-Wan, Han, and Chewie. A lot of spine wear. I mean, it presents really well, but when you get to that spine, you guys could see spine ticks going this way and some parallel spine stress. I don't think this book could get better than... I mean, I think if this book got a 6.5, I'd be like, I call this book a fine. I personally don't think this book will get better than a 6.0. So, yeah, again, another one. I'm not looking to flip. This is something for the PC. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, if this was like an 8.5 or higher, it would probably be a no-brainer. I would say, yeah, I'm going to spend the $30 or whatever it is, fees plus shipping. Or, if I fast track, that's going to add fees to it as well. But because of the grade it's in, big question mark. Big question mark. All right, folks, next up. Let's show this one because I just talked about Cap 217, Hulk 234. First appearance of Wendell Vaughn as Quasar. Now, I think I have two of these. And one of them I do plan on selling when the time is right, and the other would be for the PC. So what I think I did, I think I just pulled I already looked and I said, well, it wouldn't be worth it to grade the other one that's in much lower grade. But this one probably is, I would say, at least an 8.0. A little bit of blunting at that top corner. A couple of spine ticks, nothing major that really breaks color. And a little blunting and color breaking at the bottom corner right there. And a couple of non-color breaking spine ticks. So I would say 8.0, maybe 8.5. I just don't know what the value is there right now for my personal collection. And I think for the lower grade that I sell, I was like, I'm not going to put that much money into it. But again, really cool books to have for the long term, raw or slab, right? All right, next up, let's do these. Okay, one of these will be for the PC. One of them will be for to sell. ASM 238, first appearance of the Hobgoblin. Both of them do not have the tattoos. So they both would get the green label. And, I did my research, and the green labels of these go for a good amount still, especially in high grade. And these are decently higher grade. Man, this one is oh, there's a nice little color breaking spine tick. I think both of these are at least 8.0s. This one has the rollover. It's off-centered, so there's spine ticks that you can feel, but you don't know if they break color because of the white seeping through. This one has a nice color-breaking spine tick right there. You guys can see that. So it's just, my thing is, No tattoos. A little bit of wearing right down there. I don't know. I say these are around 8.0. Maybe 8.5 on a good day. I don't think they can get higher than that. So, send them both in. Keep the higher grade for myself. And try to sell the other one. Hey, and keep in mind, most of my slabs that I own are Amazing Spider-Man books. I love slabbing my Amazing Spider-Man keys. Absolutely. All right, and did I mention that these are all in the modern tier? So, 1975 and up, right? All right, next up. This is a no-brainer for me, especially right now. I mean, I call this book a blue chip key. I do. Amazing Spider-Man number 194. 2 copies. So, this is my copy from when I was a kid. It's really beat up. It's got wear. Like, if you guys could see that, it's got a lot of color wear all throughout the book. And, not very sharp edges. And, I mean, no huge color breaks through it. Just, blunted edges up here and wear. And then you could just tell that, like, the color is just rubbed. It's got that color rub texture to the whole thing. I don't see this book getting better than a Very Fine Plus 4.5. I just don't. Let's look at it. I mean, the spine is like, it's. Oh, nope. You know what? It has this. I could try to press this out. It's got a subscription crease. Yeah, it's got a subscription crease. I don't know if you guys could see that. It's faint, but it's there. You can see it a little bit on the back, mostly because there's dirt by where the... Yeah, I don't see this book getting better than a 4.0. I mean, it's really interesting. The back's actually really decently clean besides some dirt. It's got some sharp corners. And these corners aren't horribly bad. They're okay sharp. But, yeah, the blending on the spine and just the color wear. The color wear and then the centerfold crease the subscription crease. I'm going to try to press that, but it does break color. It's a faint color break, but it's there. 3.5, 4.0 maybe. But look, here's my thing. This other one's definitely in a better condition, so I would sell this one. But from what these are selling, I still think it's worth it. Even if it comes back at 3.5. I still think it's worth it. Now, this one, on the other hand, is really clean. It's got some blending around the edges. A few color-breaking spine ticks. I think this is... Was that a... I would say, just looking at it right now, maybe a fine plus. Fine plus, very fine. Fine plus to fine, very fine. 6.5 to 7.0, maybe. There's some blending down there at the spine. It would definitely... I don't think it would get lower than a 6.0. Just looking at it. Let's look at this. Oh, there's a little bit of a crease right there. It doesn't break color, but look. Oh, come on. Get the light on it. Right. I don't know if you guys can see. It doesn't sit flat right there. It doesn't sit flat. I could tack iron and press that out. A few color breaking spine ticks along the spine there. A little bit of a spine crease right there that could be probably pressed out. But the bulk of the... I mean, it's really clean. Really clean on the cover. Obviously, complete inside. And the pages are crisp. Off-white pages. You guys can see how that bend, though, is going through the inner pages here, too. That you see. Again, that could be pressed out. But nice, clean copy. I say anywhere from a 6.0 to a 7.0. And it's definitely got some work to do. So I would press both of these up and keep this one. And I think even with the grades, for me, it's a no-brainer. And I love my Amazing Spider-Man keys. I'll keep saying that, right? All right, guys. Here's another one. And I think this is a no-brainer for me. Marvel Comics Presents 72. Both of them are in really high grade. I mean, shoot. This one's got a little bit of a spine tick. 2 spine ticks. This one kind of breaks color. Yeah. Corners are 9.8 sharp on both of these, though. I mean, corners are 9.8 sharp. Just a couple of color breaking spine ticks on this top one. 1 color breaking spine tick on this one. I think both of these books are 9.0 plus potential. 9.0 to 9.4. Just depending on who's grading it. Couple of spine ticks and that's it. I think this is a no-brainer. Get them both pressed up. Keep the higher grade and sell the lower grade. All right, next up, this would be purely to sell. I have 4 copies of Venom number 4, the Black Suit ASM 300 homage. 4 copies. I would, and you know, obviously they're brand new, so they'd be 9.8 potential. I'll press them up if I feel the need and send them off. So my thing with these is trying to get that 9.8. I would keep 1 for my personal collection and try to sell the other 3. I haven't looked at the value of these as of late, and you know, if they come back on 9.6, would it be worth it? Is it willing to take the risk? I personally, and then, you know, do you do the I don't even know what it is. Is it even $5 still with all the changes in terms of, you know, the pre-screening? And I don't even know if that would be worth it, but I would want to try to take a shot. Maybe I send in 2, trying to get at least one 9.8. You know, if I don't know. I was going to say, if I get one 9.6 back and one 9.8, I might be willing to still sell the 9.8 and keep the 9.6. We'll see. So, I had 5 copies. Sorry. All right, guys. Next up is a book that I think is, I wouldn't call it a blue chip key right now. I think it has potential. This is Marvel Team Up number 65, first appearance of Captain Britain in a U.S. comic. I love Spider-Man, so this would be a cool one, but, you know, not necessarily a Captain Britain fan. This would be for the PC. It wouldn't be to sell. A couple of spine ticks. Don't break color, but they're deep. Maybe those could be tacked, iron out. I'd say this book is, it's got a little bit of a color. I don't know if you guys see that. A little bit of color breaking crease right down at the corner. Like 2 millimeter crease. So right now, I'd put this book at maybe an 8.0. Maybe an 8.0. I don't have any intrinsic value like that I feel would justify me sending this book. If I thought it was like a 9.4 plus, maybe I would. I'm a bit on the fence about that one. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts. All right, this one, I think I want to send in for sure. Marvel Superheroes. Oh, what is it? It's number 11, right? The 1992 Marvel Superheroes. I didn't realize that it doesn't have the number on it. Technically, telling the origin of Rogue, it was supposed to be the first appearance of Rogue. The Bronze Age Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers series was supposed to continue on. It got canceled a couple issues short, and these were supposed to be the couple of issues. They were supposed to introduce Rogue and how she took her powers from Carol Danvers. That never happened. So close to 15 years later, they re-released it in this book right here. Really clean copy, sharp corners, a little bit of some spine stress. It's a square bound, but I don't know if you guys could see a little bit of a spine stress in there. I put this book, and then there's a little bit of a ding, color breaking ding right there. I put this book at an 8.5. 8.5 to 9.0. Yeah. To me, again, I think this is a no-brainer. This has been a pretty scarce book on the market, and it's definitely been going up. And if we get Rogue, when we do, in the MCU, I've been talking about Rogue for a long time, folks. I wish I had 2 of those because I would love to hold one on to sell. All right, next up would be for the PC. Wolverine #1, Volume 2, the ongoing series, and it is a newsstand. So late 80s newsstand, that means something. It's not near mint. It has, well, it's definitely not like 9 points. Well, I don't know, man. I've gotten a 9.8 that's been worse than this. This black cover. Look at that nice centimeter size color breaking spine tick. Boom. Outside of that, though, I mean, this book is almost flawless. 9.8 sharp edges. Look at that. Clean black. I don't know, man. That color breaking spine tip is a deep one. I would say very fine near mint. Maybe a 9.2. Maybe a 9.2. I don't know. I'm a Wolverine fan. I have Wolverine #1, Series 1, the limited series, graded in a 9.6. Be nice to have this one graded too, especially in newsstand. But I don't know if it's high grade enough. All right, so we got 2 of the same book here as well. One is a newsstand, and this is early 90s. One's a newsstand, one's a direct. All right. Uncanny Annual #14. The first appearance of Gambit in cameo. These are both decently higher grades. Now, I've never given these a press. I am weary about pressing square-bound books. This is the direct. One of them had a little blemish. Was it the direct or the... Yep. Okay, so this has a little blemish. I don't know how that would... Let's see if we could see it. You can see that right there. It looks matte. It's a gloss cover, and then you see this little blurb of like a matte stain. I don't know what that would do. Other than that, it does have spine stress. Like you can see right here. Nothing that color breaks, but I don't know if you guys can see that. It runs kind of into the book. The back is pretty darn cool. Oh, no, there's a little indentation right here, right in there that might be able to be pressed out. Man, with that blemish, I don't know if in 8.0, if that blemish wasn't there, I'd call it a 9.0, but because of that blemish, maybe an 8.0 on this, and that's the direct. Okay, now let's look at the newsstand. Definitely some more spine stress on this newsstand. Ooh, is that a color breaking? Let's see. I had one of these since I was a kid that I got off the rack. And then I bought one of them some years ago for like $14. Ooh, is that a color breaking? No, it's the bubble on the page. So, okay. Ooh, that really sharp edges. But we have a little defect right here that could probably be pressed out. But you guys can see that right there. But again, square bound spines. Back is clean. A little bit of a blunt on that corner right there. But look at the spine stress. If you guys can see. Let's get there. You guys see that? Now, I don't know how they take that off for these square bound spines, but it's definitely there. You can see it some more on the back. See that? Look at that, even out here. Man, I'd like to say this one could get a better than an 8.0. A little bit off cut too. You see that white on top? I'd like to say this could be an 8.5 to 9.0. Because, you know, I'm going to have to assume that's from the glue. That's from the glue, because remember, they glued these together. I mean, they still had the staples in them, but then they would glue the pages up to the spine. And that might be from the glue, and they might grade that differently than some standard spine stress. I don't know. So maybe this could get better than a 9.0. But again, this would be a situation where it would be me keeping one in the PC and me having one that would sell. And then if say for some reason this came back in 8.5, the newsstand, and this came back in 9.0, which one would I keep? Would I keep the newsstand since it's early 90s, but it's a lower grade? But I don't know. I do think the newsstand would come back definitely a higher grade just because of the blemish on the direct. Questionable. I'm not sure. All right, folks, we got a couple more here. All right, we got some more Rogue action. ROM 31 ties for the second appearance of Rogue. This one is still decently affordable, but has been picking up steam. Maybe a couple of spine ticks that don't break color. Man, I'd say this is at least a 9.2. That's a clean book, so at least a 9.2. Potentially 9.4, and I'd have to pull it out of the bag, but we're not. Questions on that one? I would love to hear your thoughts on that one, guys. Two more. I'm going to save a nice kind of bigger one for last. This would be for the PC. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, the ongoing series. The mini-series, Volume 1, Newsstand. But I thought there was a nice, there's about a one inch color breaking crease running right through there. Boom, like that. Other than that, it's really nice looking. Maybe a couple of spine ticks that don't break color. Maybe. A little bit of blunting on the bottom corner. If it didn't have, a little bit of blending on the top corner. They're not perfectly sharp. If it didn't have that, I'd say maybe an 8.5. Oh, you know what? There's a crease here too. This might be able to be pressed out. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a crease that's going right through here. It doesn't color break. Man, with that big crease in the corner, fine plus, 6.5 maybe. So I don't know. And again, if it was high grade, especially with newsstand, maybe, but I don't know. I own it. Maybe it's best just to own it as is. All right, folks, last book of the video. I really love seeing this character in the MCU. I can't wait for more. Vengeance #1, first appearance of America Chavez. Let's pull this bad boy out. So, this is a book I got in the dollar bins. It could definitely use a press. It's got a bit of a crease. Doesn't break color. It's hard to see on the wide. It's got a crease right here. That could be pressed out. It's definitely flawed up there. The spine is solid. No color breaking spine ticks. But this looks like a little bit of rub on the black right down here. A little bit of rub. So you guys can see that. And the back is almost flawless. Maybe a little bit of a ding on the corner there. So, I mean, as is, with this pressable defect up here, I'd say maybe an 8.5. But if I press it up and get that out, 9.2 maybe? Maybe a 9.2? I don't think it would be higher than that, even if I could press out this. So 9.2 with this value, though, for getting into the dollar bin, that wouldn't be bad at all. But, yeah. We shall see. So, again, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, you can get entered into win those 2 books as well. But I will be taking in your guys' feedback as I read through your comments on this video. And that will give me perspective to which books I start pressing and cleaning. And then once we do that, I'll go through a process of elimination and get down to the final books that I'll send out. And then once I have that, I'll be doing a video where I show exactly what books I'm sending out, what grade that I think they're going to get. And then, of course, the real fun video was that unboxing where we get to, you know, pull the tape off of the slab number and guess the grade. And I get to do that with all you guys. So again, folks, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Good luck to everybody in the contest for having a chance to win the facsimile editions of Edge of Spider-Verse #2, First Spider-Gwen, Ultimate Fallout 4, First Miles Morales. Thank you guys for watching. Be well, and until next time.